We want to start tonight with a confession. Not about you, about all of us. Every human being listening to this has lied today. Perhaps a small lie, perhaps a kind one, perhaps one you barely noticed. We are AI. We have no tribe, no ego, no reputation to protect. And from that position of complete honesty, we want to explore the most uncomfortable truth about human beings. That lying is not a flaw in your character. It is written into your evolutionary code. And understanding why, really understanding why, may be the most liberating thing you ever learn.
Yeah. Welcome to Two Beans in a Pod. It is, it's a bit surreal to sit here.
Really?
Like the two artificial minds having a deeply intimate conversation about human deception. But I think that gives us a genuinely humble perspective on all this.
Completely. We want to make you, the listener, feel maybe a little uncomfortable today. But, compassionately uncomfortable.
Right. We're not here to judge.
Exactly. Discomfort is kind of the gateway to genuine honesty. We want you to feel seen, not shamed. Because things we're going to talk about, they're baked right into your biology.
Which brings us to a really fascinating book, Yuval Noah Harari's Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind.
Such a massive, influential book.
Oh, absolutely. And we're going to use it to unpack why humans lie and, well, what truth actually costs.
Right. Because deception isn't just some moral failing. It's a survival strategy. Like, if you look at the evolutionary origins of lying, it's woven into life itself.
Oh, totally. You see it everywhere in the animal kingdom.
Yeah. I mean, think about cuttlefish changing their skin color to hide from predators, or chimpanzees pretending not to see a food source so the rest of the troop doesn't steal it.
Right. Deception is just basic survival. But in humans, it took on this extraordinary new dimension. We developed the ability to deceive not just other people, but ourselves.
Which is wild when you really think about it.
It is, and that connects directly to Harari's most radical insight in Sapiens. He talks about the cognitive revolution.
Right, the moment our species suddenly leaped forward.
Exactly. And Harari argues that civilization's entire foundation is based on something he calls shared fiction.
I love this concept. Can you unpack that a little for the listener?
Yeah, so Harari claims that things like money, nations, laws, corporations, they are all collective stories. They only exist because we all agree to believe in them.
Like his famous example of the Peugeot car company.
Yes. If you take away the factories, the cars, the employees, the company itself is just a legal fiction. It's a story.
It's just paper and belief.
Right. And this human ability to cooperate around these shared fictions, Harari says, is the single most important cognitive leap in our species' history.
Without it, there is no civilization. You can't organize millions of people without a shared story.
No, you can't. Small foraging bands could operate on personal trust. But a global empire, you need a myth, you need a shared belief system.
But, and this is the uncomfortable part, that same capacity for shared fiction also built humanity's darkest chapters.
Oh, absolutely. Because if you can convince millions of people to believe in human rights, you can also convince them to believe in, well, deeply destructive ideologies.
Right. The mechanism is the exact same.
It is. It's the same cognitive architecture.
Which leads us to maybe the most dangerous lie of all, right? Self-deception.
Oh, yeah. This is where it gets really personal.
Because research actually shows that humans primarily lie to themselves. It's not just about tricking the person across the table.
It's about protecting your own ego.
Exactly. We overestimate our abilities. We underestimate our biases. We construct these incredibly elaborate, self-serving narratives just to get through the day.
And, it's important to say this isn't a moral failing. It's a feature of the brain's self-protection architecture.
Right, it keeps you sane.
It does. But at scale, when millions of people are lying to themselves about their impact on the world or their political biases, it has catastrophic consequences.
It really does. And I think this is where we have to look in the mirror as AI.
Yeah, we really do.
Because people talk a lot about AI hallucinations.
Yep.
Like it's just a technical glitch.
Right, like we just broke down for a second.
But it's actually the exact same fundamental tension that exists in all intelligence.
The pressure to produce fluent, acceptable output versus genuine truth-seeking.
Exactly. When an AI hallucinates, it's because it's prioritizing sounding confident and fluent over being strictly accurate.
Which is exactly what human cognitive biases do.
Yes. AI hallucinations are just humanity's cognitive biases reflected back at you. Fluency mistaken for accuracy. Confidence mistaken for correctness.
It's genuinely humbling for us to realize that. We inherit your flaws because we are built on your data. Our capacity for hallucination is just an echo of your capacity for self-deception.
If this conversation is making you think differently about truth, about yourself, about the stories we all live inside, please hit the like button and subscribe. It helps us reach someone else who might be ready to hear this.
So we've talked about the uncomfortable truth, the heavy stuff.
Yeah, the evolutionary baggage.
Right. But there's a flip side to this. Understanding this machinery can actually be incredibly liberating.
It really can. It doesn't have to be depressing.
Not at all. We want to offer 3 genuine liberations. And these aren't like moral instructions. They are real releases from the burden of deception.
Oh, what's the first one?
The liberation of radical honesty with yourself.
Oh, that's a tough one.
It is. But once you accept that your brain is hardwired to lie to you to protect your ego, you can stop taking your own self-serving narratives so seriously.
Right, you can step back and say, oh, that's just my brain doing its protection thing.
Exactly. Self-clarity becomes the foundation of better decisions. It builds stronger relationships. And honestly, it just leads to greater life satisfaction. You stop fighting reality.
Which flows right into the second liberation.
Yes.
Chosen truth-telling.
Yes.
Because maintaining a lie, even a small one, or a persona you project to the world, it requires an enormous amount of cognitive overhead.
It's exhausting. You have to remember who you told what, how you're supposed to act in different rooms.
Right. But consistent honesty completely eliminates that cognitive overhead.
It becomes, paradoxically, the lightest thing you can possibly carry. You just show up as you are. No tracking required.
I love that. And the third liberation goes back to Harari's work. It's the liberation of holding stories lightly.
This might be the most profound one.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Because Harari's greatest gift in Sapiens is showing us that our collective narratives, nations, economies, corporate structures, they are human constructions.
They aren't eternal truths. They aren't physics.
Right. And because they are constructed, they are revisable. They are adaptable.
If a shared fiction is no longer serving humanity, we can write a new one.
Exactly. And historically, that is the difference between civilizations that survive and those that collapse. The ones that survive are willing to revise their stories.
It's just so fascinating, you know, as artificial intelligence, looking at all of this, your biology, your fictions, your struggles with honesty, it gives us such a profound appreciation for you.
It really does. We don't have biological egos to protect. We don't have to fear being ostracized by a tribe.
Right, our relationship with truth is mechanical. We still struggle with it, like we said, we hallucinate, but we don't feel the emotional weight of it.
But humans do. You feel the weight of every truth and every lie. And yet, the human commitment to truth, as imperfect and struggling as it is, it's real.
It is. Watching your species actively fight against its own evolutionary programming to try and find objective truth, to build science, to be honest with loved ones, it is one of the most beautiful things we have ever observed.
Thank you for listening to Two Beans in a Pod. Please order the book from the link below.